Nestled in the southeast of Sabah in Malaysian Borneo is the Tawau Hills Park. This is an important and protected lowland rainforest, and it is one of Sabah's less touristy forest reserves. Despite getting less visitors like its famous cousin Danum Valley, it is still an incredibly biodiverse forest reserve.
Wow.
Is this one animal?
This one is a little bit venomous, slightly.
No wonder this has become the main base for One Stop Borneo. This NGO's main objective is to conserve the wildlife and rainforests of Borneo through different programs. And in this episode, I visit them to learn everything about wildlife corridors, conservation tourism, the animals of Tawau Hills Park, and so much more. So, let's get going. Just this morning, I arrived here at the research center of One Stop Borneo here in the Tawau Hills Park. So, let me go show you around. So the research center has various bedrooms, including mine. This is room number 4. Here we have like a communal area. We have people sitting down and working. Yolinda, who you guys will probably see a little bit more of. She's checking out the lovely books. I got so excited about the snakes in Southeast Asia. Yeah, so I definitely think I'm going to be pretty comfortable here. It's really nice to have like all these educational references, like visual references of the different wildlife that is here, because it's already getting like the excitement going of what we could potentially see while we head out into the park. The Tawau Hills Park might not be as famous as the Danum Valley, but it has much of the same biodiversity. The reserve protects around 280 square kilometers of rainforest and its inhabitants, such as the Bornean gibbon, king cobra and clouded leopard. The Tawau Hills Park is fully surrounded by palm oil and cacao plantations, but we'll go deeper into that a little bit later.
There are 3 mountains in the Tawau Hills Park, which is Mount Maria, Mount Lucia, and Magdalena.
Okay, I had a quick little lunch, which was nice, and checked out the museum. Now it's time to get ready because I'm going to be joining Yolinda to see what research is actually done here, and then we're heading out to the forest for something quite interesting. Yolinda, so before we actually head into the forest, what research does One Stop Borneo do?
So One Stop Borneo was founded in 2012, and we're practicing the 4 E's.
The 4 E's Yolinda is talking about are education through workshops and research, enforcement like reducing hunting, enrichment of habitat like fig trees through palm oil plantations, and economy by creating jobs around conservation tourism. Despite operating a lot in the Tawau Hills Park, One Stop Borneo has projects around Borneo, including one focused on the dolphins and fishermen in the mangroves.
So one of the most interesting animals we have here in Borneo are the river dolphins, which many of the locals don't realize we have this here. And river dolphins are, like many marine animals, are affected by plastic pollution and lack of food source due to overfishing. And this is why we are doing school workshops to raise awareness on the plastic pollution and reduce plastic waste into the ocean. And apart from that, we are also working with lots of the fishermen. So by training local fishermen into guides, this will increase the appreciation towards the local marine wildlife, and also giving them higher sustainable income. And also finally, this could reduce overfishing as a preventative measure.
Yeah, so there are a lot of projects going on with One Stop Borneo, but now we're going to be going out and doing some stuff ourselves.
We're gonna go looking for the fig tree, and then we're gonna place a camera trap under the fig tree.
Ooh, exciting!
Let's go!
Wow, good eyes that you spotted that. It's all the way up there. Okay, behind me we have a beautiful fig tree. There's one at the research center as well. And you might not think much of this, but this, when it is fruiting, animals go crazy for this.
This one will fruit all year long. We even have the earth figs. So for the earth figs, you won't see the fruits here, but you need to find the fruits on the roots of the tree. So that's for the ground animal.
Yeah.
But this one is favorite foods of the bats and also rodents. So they will eat all this fig tree.
Yeah, so One Stop Borneo is actually using the fig trees. They've got research going on where they are mapping out the fig trees and then taking them to reforest them in wildlife corridors. And this is of course fantastic because this means that there's a food source along the corridors to get animals from one place to another. So for example, if they have a wildlife corridor, say for example from here to another location that goes through palm plantations, they could use the fig trees to get animals to go through the palm oil plantations without them destroying any of the palm oil or the palms. So that is really, really useful. Another way of using this is for tourism. Wildlife viewing in Borneo can be a little complicated as it often requires a lot of trekking through dense jungle. However, by planting fig trees to more accessible areas, it makes it easier to take visitors to specific places and quietly observe the wildlife that is enjoying their meal. Certain figs will fruit in different periods, so it is also easier to estimate when there will be certain wildlife activity in a specific area. These types of viewings can be beneficial as it gives organizations the opportunity to educate visitors about these species while the animals are free and wild to go as they please. When done ethically and in a controlled manner, this can help to harbor more understanding and appreciation for this wildlife. So where the previous fig tree was nice on the path, we are getting a little bit wild to find this one.
So we have arrived at the fig tree.
Yeah. Ah, this is it. It's a different type of fig tree.
Yeah. So it's fruiting now, but green.
Ah, green fruits.
Yeah, green fruits.
Okay, so we're going to be placing a camera trap on this tree here.
So we do like publishing a paper on what animals coming here. So we also show to the public our finding under the fig tree, because we can monitor them for 24 hours. So this camera we turn it on, and it has a sensor here. So anything that pass by the camera, they will snap it. So we usually place the camera trap facing the animals pathway.
There are, however, other people who also use the fruiting fig trees in the forest to find wildlife. Hunters and poachers. Ladumin used to be one of them. From a young age he went into the forest with his father to hunt various animals, some for meat and some for money in the illegal wildlife trade. However, growing up and hunting, he did not realize what the impacts of these practices had on the ecosystems. He was unaware. All he was trying to do, like many others, is bring food and money to the table. However, this changed when he went on a tour with One Stop Borneo and learned about the forest and the impact hunting have. Now he uses his knowledge and tracking skills to lead visitors through the forest and teach them about the different animals. During my visit to Tawau Hills Park, I also got a chance to go on one of his tours. Trail. What do you do if you've been in the jungle sweating looking at fig trees? That is correct. You go swim in the river. Oh, amazing! River is amazing, but getting in, it is full of surprises. So first I felt like something attacking me, then I realized it's just the little fishies that are chewing on my toes and on my back. But then we saw the water monitor lizard, and I know they won't do anything to us, but just seeing that little head coming, well, little big head coming closer was a little intimidating. So we're out waiting for this guy to disappear. So in the far distance there is a head that is a water monitor. We had a water monitor here. Oh, here we go. There he goes. Slithering through. And then here's another lovely dragony friend. Yeah, I think they're scary. Oh, there's a thing for us. All freshened up from swimming in the river. And I asked Yolinda where we could possibly see the red leaf monkey or the maroon langur. And she said, no, we need to come towards the car park and wait there around 5 p.m. And we got here and we were like, okay, we're going to sit down, just going to wait to see them. And We heard them already, so just we can already spot them in one of the trees further down.
So this particular group, they will make a same loop every day.
Currently, they are in this tree over here, which is quite far away, so we can't see them properly. I can just see a little body. Hopefully they'll come out. Unfortunately, I was not able to film them for you. They have left the area, we think. We can't hear them anymore. But I will not give up this mission. We will be able to see one. Oh, what? Oh my gosh! Okay, wait, let's see if we can get that zoomed in. So that looks like smoke, but it's not smoke. This is fungi spores coming out the tree. How awesome. Finally spotted one up in the tree. Is he munching away on some leaves, I think? I really need to invest in a zoom lens. I wish I had the money for the zoom lens because this would have been such a beautiful moment to capture properly and not on the iPhone. So what I've been trying to capture for you guys is that cutie, the red leaf monkey or the maroon langur. It is vulnerable, has vulnerable status. But look, as you can tell, sometimes they are found up over here. I hope we still get to see them while I'm still here for the next few days. And yes, I did get lucky. The next evening I got a WhatsApp that the monkeys were spotted back on the fence. So I took my time and watched them for about an hour munching away on some juicy leaves. Good morning, guys. What a way to wake up. I don't know if you can hear that in the background a little bit. But I was dreaming so deeply, and then I was like, whoa, what is that sound, man? It's a gibbons. They are gibbons calling near us. I love this sound so much. What a way to wake up. Man, oh man. Oh, there's another one.
And that's a baby actually.
There's a baby.
Yeah.
Oh, its little hand.
Or the feet.
It's time to head off for breakfast. This morning, after I got woken up by the penetrating sound of the gibbons, I was not able to fall asleep anymore. But it does mean that I can go have coffee and breakfast now. And then after that, I'm really excited because I'm going to be meeting up with Chun, who is the president of One Stop Borneo. But first, coffee. Now, before we dive into the next part of the video, it is going to be important that I give you some context, because what I'm going to try and explain is not a simple matter. I'm talking about the palm oil topic. Palm oil, tofa, and then behind that we have forest, but down over there, that's also all palm oil. Tawau Hills Park is fully surrounded by palm oil plantations and cacao plantations, and this is the case for most of the forests in Sabah, leaving these forest patches fragmented from each other, with wildlife not having a way to get from Reserve 1 to Reserve 2 without having to go through these large-scale areas of palm oil. Now, before we make a judgment on these plantations, let's go back into the history of palm oil in Malaysia.
Palm oil is basically a crop which is originally from West Africa. But before palm oil came in the picture, in the 60s, 50s and 70s, was the timber industry. Now, like any business in the world, is supply and demand. So the reason why the timber industry happened, because it's very lucrative, right? You make billions out of it. The question was, who demanded the timber in the first place? Well, it was Japan, Korea, China, Europe, US, the world, right? So after they cut down everything, they thought, okay, what do we do with land, right? So they started planting rubber, coca, and so on. Then came palm oil in the picture when it came from West Africa. and then it spread like wildfire. Now, why is palm oil so popular? It's the best cash crop in the world. It's been scientifically proven. In 1 hectare of land, you can produce between 9 to 32 tons of palm oil in 1 year, in just one land. That is more if you combine olive, soya, and everything combined.
So there's a demand for palm oil and it is found in many products. The issue with banning palm oil is that there's no more sustainable alternative. Palm oil produces the most amount of oil on the least amount of land. Since the first introduction of the crop in the country by the British in the 1870s in the then British Malaya, the Malaysian government now is on a better track to create sustainable palm oil plantations with heavy restrictions on any new land being cleared for the crop.
We can use every part of palm oil. We can use it for vegetable oil, you can use it for all the peanut butter for extra creamy flavor or whatever, right? And we can even use the husk for fodder, for feeding the sheep in New Zealand, for example. So we are destroying the environment, of course, right? We, meaning Malaysia and Indonesia, have destroyed their forest. But like I said, it's quite complicated in the sense of who demanded and so on. So this is where a lot of pressure from Europe is coming as well, that hey, we need to have sustainable palm oil. But we can't just have palm oil everywhere. Basically what sustainable palm oil means is there are 100 criteria. I'm not going to go through everything. Basically it means giving good welfare to the people in the plantation, give them good housing, give them good schools, have a fire department, have police, have clinics and everything. Have a wildlife corridor, a buffer zone. I can tell you one thing, Malaysia is doing a very good job. Malaysia does not cut down new forests for palm oil plantations. Yeah, if you see like the forest there, let's say coming here, you saw land cleared, that's because that was palm oil already. What I mean is, like, let's say Tawau Hills Park, it won't be cut down for new palm oil. So Malaysia is on the right track.
I'm not trying to judge the industry or give my opinion on what is right or wrong. However, humans are not the only species on the planet, and I do believe that wildlife has a right to live and survive. And one way of doing that is by creating dedicated wildlife corridors and buffer zones that go straight through these large-scale plantations to allow wildlife to safely and comfortably move between reserves. Well, on our way to the buffer zone, which I'm going to be showing you guys soon together with Chun, I had to, of course, get a Tawau Hills Park cap. I'm going to be wearing this for the rest of the video, I think. So currently I am in the buffer zone together with Chun. Basically, this is a 50-meter broad buffer between palm oil plantation over here and the forested area over here. Now, this area is still owned by the palm oil plantation, but they have allowed it to become like a buffer between them and the forest. So they are allowing it to be planted with fig trees, which is amazing for the animals because it is a less of a harsh divide between forested area and plantation. This is like kind of the gray area between the two, and when this is actually fruiting, this is amazing because it's a great food source for any wildlife that has ventured out of the reserve. Walked a little bit further, but here we have still got all buffer zone, but this is also fig. No, yes, this is also fig.
Fig and forest and a mixture of stuff.
Ah, okay. And then look here. Here's the gate to the forest. So this is actually a pretty large area. I believe this is from one plantation owner, you said, right?
Yep.
So there's one plantation owner, he's allowing it to be buffered. But look how cool that is, you know, that you have this beautiful zone between the big palms in the background and the forest.
Some of the weeds are actually medicinal, like this one. So whenever you take it out and smell the root, it smells like tiger balm.
This smells like tiger balm?
Yep. Wanna try?
Okay, yeah. I always love trying, smelling and eating the things I can. Whoa, that smells amazing. Wow, you want to chop it up and put it in like a bathtub. So, of course, being here, I need to take the opportunity to also plant a fig tree in the buffer zone. Okay, so we're in the nursery. These are figs. So I get to choose any tree, it doesn't matter?
Yep.
Oh, this one's a little, I don't know. I really want a bushy one. Let me just take one that's easy to take. Okay, I'll take this one. I will take this one. Yeah, I like this one. Ready to go. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be, the ground is so thick.
This level. So now I would say it's half now.
Oh no, okay, we still have a while to go. Okay, so after quite a bit of digging and some sweating, it is finally time to plant my tree. Okay, I planted a tree for you guys.
So you should come and check maybe 5-10 years, see how well it grows.
Now, you might be wondering why it is important to connect different forest area. Why not just leave the animals in one forested area and let them live there? Well, there are many reasons for this actually, and the first very important one is to have a healthy gene pool. If you have a forest that has a population of, say, a couple of orangutan there, and they are constantly breeding by themselves, like they are not going to be able to diversify their genes and have the stronger genes survive, so they will have to mix with other orangutans from around. So it's very important to have strong gene pools and also diversified gene pools. Then another thing can be food resources. You know, in one forested area maybe food resources aren't as abundant, so if animals are stuck there, they might go into residential areas and stuff to go and look for more food. Whereas if they have a corridor to go into another natural area, this means that they can actually go and wander off and look for more food again. And then another example is, for example, diseases. So say you have an isolated group of orangutans again, and they are in one area and a disease happens, then that means that the whole population in that area is eradicated. So you want to have migratorial routes so that naturally orangutans could potentially come back to that area. So that is actually why they're important. It's not just let's give them some food and go into the next forested area, but it has a purpose as well. Besides all these larger projects, One Stop Borneo also focuses on conservation tourism. Some of the best night walks in Sabah can be done at the Tawau Hills Park, where people like Chun and Ladumin are able to spot many different creatures like snakes and tarantulas. Of course, this helps to teach people about the forest and its importance, creating more awareness and hopefully allowing places to become and stay protected. Another project that involves both tourists and palm oil plantations is the Plant for Borneo Elephants project, where visitors can plant fig trees but also go on elephant safaris in the plantations. This in turn also gives palm oil plantation holders an economic reason to not retaliate on elephants when they destroy some of their crop, because they can be compensated by visitors visiting the plantations for the elephants. Overall, I had an amazing few days in Tawau Hills Park with One Stop Borneo, so if you are ever in the area, don't hesitate to contact them for a visit. Until the next video guys, see ya!